Welcome to the 20-Minute Gamer channel. I'm your host, Nick, and we're back with another video in the Content Creator Showcase. Now, it's been a while since we've done one of these, and if this is your first experience with these videos, with this content, let me break down what I'm trying to do here. I really wanted to be able to use my platform to showcase small channels, young channels. I've said it before, there's a lot of noise out there on content. And growing a channel is hard work. How do you stand apart? What do you do differently? Then you have the questions of, who do I watch? What are they covering? And if you don't do too much differently, you can get away with it. I mean, that is okay. But there still has to be something that you use or do that does distinguish yourself apart from the other creators. Well, today we're talking with a gamer who has a flair for all things survival, all things indie, and all things survival indie. Kind of everything, right? We're going to get into the more direct introductions in just a minute. I've had a blast watching his content. His flair for indie titles is just, it's very, very refreshing. It's good to see. He's reaching out to developers. He's reaching out to small studios. He's grabbing their content. He's playing their games. He's doing the right testing, and he's got an absolute passion for it. I love seeing when someone has a passion for a specific title. In regards to indie titles, they really can be some unsung heroes. Listen, some of the best games we've played lately have come from small studios. Helldivers 2, small studio. Aliens Dark Descent, small studio. One other thing that you're going to notice in his videos is that he keeps great company. In a world where a lot of our social interaction can be digital, I can't stress how important it is to escape the toxicity in games. Having good friends to play with, laugh with, cannot be overstated. Some games out there bring out the worst in people, and you begin to get, I don't want to say desensitized, but almost brainwashed in a way that that's how you should be acting. And it can change your behavior. I think having good friends to play with to shrug off that negativity really helps, and his crew that he plays with are fantastic. I've found myself engaging sometimes more with the comedy and enjoyment of their experience than maybe even the game itself. I've actually spent time using his channel as a sort of vodcast when working. So I was thrilled when he was willing to set aside the time and talk to me, getting the opportunity to just speak with him about his goals and his hopes for the channel. Let's go ahead and roll into that interview. I'm not going to belabor this anymore. Thanks for joining me on this one. Once again, great guy, great channel. Let's go. All right, so introductions. We're here with NeLsInFiNiTy. Now, is Nels the best way to kind of reference you throughout the course of this interview? Is that going to be all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
okay.
always use Nels, so.
Okay, cool. I've got your details up on the screen. So obviously, people are going to be able to see how to kind of get your channel. We'll have links in the description as well. Regarding any business needs or contact details, if people want to talk to you, get a hold of you, what's your kind of preferred method of communication there?
To be honest, I use Discord, Instagram. I have a Twitter, a Facebook. I guess Twitter is called X now, but yeah, so, and then, like YouTube, Twitch, technically even have a Kick, so I'm just about on all of it.
That's good, man. Diversification.
Yeah.
Some people want to use Kick, some people want to use Twitter. Maybe other people are more comfortable with Discord, but cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
NeLsInFiNiTy is, where did you come up with the name for your channel? Like, what was the brains behind that?
Well, Nels, the name Nel was originally the name, and it actually, I hit a hard point in my life, rock bottom. I feel like what people think's rock bottom, I hit even further than that at a time of my life that I literally just didn't want to be here no more. So I coined this phrase Nel, just standing for never-ending life, and it was the thing that just kept me going. So I kind of tagged an S onto it and started using it more as a name. Nels, just something to keep reminding myself. So every time I say it or I hear it, I hear Never Ending Life. So for me, it just keeps reminding me to keep going. And I mean, I even tattooed it on myself. So, so I decided to create a community. So basically, Never Ending Life to Infinity. So NeLsInFiNiTy. This is kind of where I came up with the name.
You know, I know some people may create their channels based on, maybe it's like a childish name or something silly that they just kind of stumbled across, and then that's how they wind up getting known. And then breaking away from that can sometimes be hard. You know, I mean, like some content creators I love, like Random Frank P. Like, I love his channels, I love his tech videos, but he even created a video some time ago. He's like, listen, you know, I built this channel years ago, back when I didn't think, you know, I wasn't sure what it was going to be. I think that being able to have that sentimentality in the name of your channel, I think that that maybe even gives you a little bit more passion for what you're building than just, than just picking a name out of a box, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree.
What I kind of going over some of your videos now. I've been watching your channel for a while and really enjoying the energy that you kind of bring. What would you say your sweet spot is in regards to the type of content that you post? Like what video game genre do you find yourself gravitating towards more maybe than others?
I mean, my channel's heavily focused on survival gaming, so anything that's basically survival, open world, crafting, building, and with the occasional zombies because I love zombies. So,
Oh,
but I
dude,
do,
who doesn't, man? Like, I mean,
yeah.
that is a genre that I hope never goes away, because it is absolutely I don't know, it's just one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, because I don't know. In like IRL, so in real life, I find bushcraft and actual wilderness survival to be extremely awesome, and I love learning how to craft and build things and stuff. Just for I have that mindset of like if the apocalypse happens. So for me, to have kind of live out that I guess fantasy in a sense and like when you can't always just go outdoors to do it necessarily, it's nice to be able to kind of have that outlet for a survival game to sort of do that.
Yeah, I get that.
um
Yeah.
so yeah, but I mean, aside from survival gaming though, I mean, I do a little bit of horror simulator stuff because I mean, technically here's the thing. So I do survival gaming, but the other genres I also have playlists for technically kind of coexist in a way with it because simulator games, a survival game is a simulator game. So that kind of entitles me in a sense to say, hey, I can actually maybe do some simulator games without really breaking the channel of my content.
Right. Right.
Zombies and certain themes of these survival games could also persist to, horror themed. So, just basically a lot of my other playlists not only expand what I can offer to people, but does show a little bit of a variety, but in the same sense, they all sort of piggyback on each other to where there's a reason. It's not like I'm just doing, hey, I'm just playing like Fortnite and then I'm over here playing, Bejeweled puzzle games. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing to like pair those together. So any other playlists I do, in a sense, kind of plays off of just survival gaming.
I get that, man. And I honestly, I mean, I think that that's very smart. I think that I think it is important to have a direction with where you want to go with your channel and what type of content you bring, right? I mean, like you said, I mean, you really can't do a whole bunch of like zombie games and then all of a sudden the next thing you know, you're playing The Sims. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you just you just played a whole bunch of zombie games. Now you're playing The Sims. Like what's the correlation? I know that people try to maybe even become like subject matter experts in a title or in a type of series, and that also kind of leads them into having just better credibility. Okay, well, all you play is zombie games, so maybe you have a better understanding of how this one will play out, or maybe what your expectations will be. So, I mean, I definitely think that that's smart. I think that's the way to go personally, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just me.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't want to trademark myself. So like there's a lot of huge content creators, like don't get me wrong, just because I play survival games doesn't mean that I don't watch some big Call of Duty content creators or other survival content creators,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
I mean I watch all sorts of stuff, food channels, everything. I mean anything, really. Um I didn't want to coin myself on one thing. So like I like, you know, let's just say 7 Days to Die, for instance. Like that's probably one of my ultimate favorite games just because of how much can actually be done with that game. There's just more to it, especially if you have a creative mind to do more within the game. But I didn't want to be like known as that guy that just plays 7 Days to Die, and then maybe I could have a zombie or another survival, but like everybody expects this. So like I didn't want to be the dude that's stuck on Call of Duty, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted to be like I'm gonna do survival as a whole, but I will also start the channel from day one with other playlists of some other things that coincide with it. So now I have this option that people come here for survival gaming, but at the same time, though, like I don't have people like, hey, you just threw out an RPG game or you threw out a simulator or horror game. It's like because I started day one doing the variety addition to it, though.
Right. What's some of your gaming history? You know, like where did you start out in?
Um, I mean, technically, I started gaming since the Super Nintendo, so I
Nice.
branched from there from Mario to N64 GoldenEye, which was a classic, and then
Goldeneye was so good. You know, I
I
loved Perfect Dark more though. I'm a man. I am a pariah amongst my friends because I did not like Goldeneye as much as I liked Perfect Dark. I thought Perfect Dark was awesome.
I don't know. I okay. So I grew up with like around my grandfather, and he had every James Bond on VHS, and every weekend we watched those movies. So for
Yeah.
me, it was like that's why GoldenEye was like my go-to for that. Now, any other James Bond beyond that game, honestly, I just don't ever felt like it was that great. Like I mean, some were good. I just yeah, it's like I feel like it could have been better, you know. So I just feel like that's always going to be like their number one classic. Like that's the game you're going to always think about. But yeah, from that basically just kind of going into like PlayStation. I really got hooked into PlayStation when it came out, and
Sure.
Final Fantasy and a lot of those RPG type games in a sense were just phenomenal. Plus the amount of hours you could put into them. So then that just kind of progressed into I like some open world zombie type stuff, and then I figured I like the crafting stuff in real life. So to try getting into a simulator, I found obviously the survival simulators were just really up my alley, to be honest. So
So I bet
yeah.
like State of Decay 2 is right up your alley.
Yeah. I mean, it's a State of Decay was an awesome game, and then two just really, I mean, it just takes the graphics to a whole nother level. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's really good. I like that game. I wish it had a little more of a like kind of that open world like survival crafting part to it. I mean, I get it does, but it's not the same as when you're playing a like first person like I guess 7 Days
Sure.
to Die or
Green
like a
Hell.
Green Hell, yeah, stuff like
Right,
that to
man.
where
Oh,
yeah, stuff like that actually feels like you're in the rut, having to start from scratch, get a stick, get a stone,
yeah.
whatever. I feel like with State of Decay, it was more like you kind of already have a camp and some people to use,
Right.
and
It's definitely it gives
yeah,
you it scratches the itch, but it definitely like holds your hand quite a bit as far as the crafting element goes. Hey, you need two more wood and then you're good to go. Okay, well,
yeah,
if I play Green Hell and I swim in a lake, there's a chance I'm going to get a parasite. Okay, so don't tell me you're
yeah,
on the
for
same
real.
level as them.
Or like with Sons of the Forest, like, bro, I gotta build my base from the ground up, chop those trees, carry those logs,
Yeah.
place them in, like that is so cool to me. So
Have you played Lens Island at all? Have you heard about it?
I've heard of it. I have not played it though.
If you haven't played it, man, it's a recommendation from me to you. I really like Lens Island, and now I mean I don't play it a ton. I mean, there's usually always another game that is on my radar that I'm playing, but in my free time. You know, like if I've taken a break or if I have enough content build up, I'll jump into Lens. And what I really do like is it is just a very relaxing survival, but it's also a dungeon crawler. So I kind of get the satisfaction of being able to build weapons and go through a dungeon crawl. You know, I can literally go through a dungeon, or I don't have to do that at all. I can literally just like build my house. I can farm. I can chop down trees. I can craft a whole bunch of cool material. I don't know. I really like it just for its. It is a little bit more simplistic, but man, it is a relaxing ass game.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. I actually pulled it up. It kind of reminds me of kind of a Dismantle in a sense.
Sure. Yeah. I
Which
can see the correlation there.
yeah, kind of similar. Does seem like there's quite a bit more to do on there. But you know what's funny is I actually used to have this wish list, and I went ahead and added it back on there anyways. But yeah, like I mean, yeah, it looks really good. So it definitely seems like there's a range of stuff to do in there for sure.
When did you decide that you kind of wanted to create a YouTube channel and bring your experiences and bring your passion kind of front and center to viewers, subscribers? What was I guess maybe what was the catalyst for you? And I mean, what game do you feel was like, you know what, like this game is too good. I really want to show this to people.
Um, so something I would clarify with my YouTube. So a lot of people have the assumption that because my YouTube channel is dated way older, that I've been content creating, why don't I have enough followers or subscribers or whatnot? Here's the thing, like my YouTube channel was my personal channel. Like the one I've been basically using since the dawn of YouTube,
Oh, right.
and I watched all my other content creators. Well, I seen other content creators that just kind of inspired me to want to do it, and I was like always thinking, oh, I'm probably too old to start or whatever, like oh, it's probably too late. Nobody would be interested. So then one of my buddies had told me to start a Twitch. So I started that. The only thing I don't like with it is I like the interaction with people, but I feel like the information and the like teaching and learning and whatever, when it comes to the focus of the game, that attention gets taken away so much because you spend it with the viewers. Like you're spending it chatting and just having other conversations that I
Sure.
found not only did the quality not look as good as a recorded quality, something I edit, whatever. So when it's live, I don't feel like it's as solid and a lot of attention to that game. Like the reason I'm showing you this game is to like show you the game, teach you, let you get a good view, a good opinion on it, see what I think about it. But when I was live streaming, I just it's like that attention's taken away, so half the time it's just something going in the background that most time nobody was even paying attention to, and we're just talking about the conversations at hand. So after doing that for about a year or two, I went ahead just in September of 2023, decided to actually start YouTube. So YouTube used to just be a place for me to store all my Twitch content just in case I ever decided to do something with it later.
Sure, like
I
an
had somewhere to
archive. Right
store
on.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, it was just my online video library. That's all it was for. So I have a lot of content that was on there. And some stuff like when I had a bearded dragon, some of my reptile stuff was on there. But I went ahead and was like, I really want to just get out there. I don't want to live with a regret of feeling like what if or, woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of thing. So
Right.
I was like, despite how old I am, I'm gonna go ahead and strive for it. Just start doing it. Scum was a huge game that I was a big fan of, so it's a big open world survival zombie. First, you can go into first person, third person. It can be a PvP or PvE type of game. It had one of the largest maps built on Unreal Engine at the time, so I was like, I want to start showing this. So a lot of my really old content was that and It was rough, but that's what it was. And so that's some of the content you would see, like, that I had just tried testing like years and years ago. So like I said, I actually said, you know what, I'm not doing anything anywhere else, just YouTube. So I'm coming to YouTube. It was September 2023, and I went ahead and was like, I'm gonna start playing what I like playing, because Twitch drew me to play stuff that I wasn't necessarily passionate about. So I felt like I was just playing what people wanted me to play, not what I wanted to play. So when I
Sure.
came to YouTube, I said, I'm going to play what I want to play. And if people enjoy that, then they'll come. If not, it's no big deal. Like, I'm passionate about what I'm playing. So I started doing that. And obviously, since September of last year. So.
Well, and I mean, I think that's really kind of what it boils down to, is making sure that whatever it is you are playing, you are passionate about. I think people gravitate toward a good, positive energy on a video, and they're maybe even less concerned about, is this a game I'm going to play? Maybe they just want to see that you're having fun and you're having a good time. I mean, me personally, I've played a ton of games that I've recorded and posted on games. I mean, yes, I'm passionate about, and I know other people may have been playing, but the fun that I had playing them with my friends was greater, I think, than any viewer rate. And it was more important to me that I was having fun and that I was able to kind of share that with everybody. So I think I really kind of agree with you that, the passion behind the game and what you want to play is really kind of more important. So I agree with you 100% there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You gotta enjoy. I mean, I always grew up with that whole motto. Like, the best job is the one that you love doing.
Sure.
So a lot of people always just settle for something they're unhappy with. So that doesn't mean like up and quit, but like, if you're passionate about something, strive for that no matter what. It's never too late. Like, I know some other fellow content creators that are, you know, 50, 60, 70 years old, and they started up and they're having a blast with it. So it's like, in the end, it's like, what are you going to go to bed happy about?
Yeah.
Like you can start building something, and then maybe a few years from now you can kind of sway or leave from the thing that you're not as happy with. But it takes time. Like, nothing just happens overnight.
It sure doesn't, man. Thinking about the people we play with, kind of going back to what I said about the people you play with. A lot of the games that you play, I see you've got a couple of great lieutenants that seem to join you on these adventures as well. How long have you known these guys, man? You listen. You like, so every comedian has a straight man that helps them out on stage, and you've definitely got yourself a great set of guys that you play with. How long has that relationship been going on?
They're actually all friends that I met within the past year. We kind of all came together meeting through Discord on like when Athos, so kind of an arc similar like game
Okay.
came out. I was gonna say, we all just kind of met in there, started playing, and we just seemed to like work off each other really well. So it was just a lot of fun. And one of the people that ended up being, that I did do some stuff with, she ended up actually being friends with another content creator, which is funny because that content creator is probably the biggest one. They're not large, they're small, like they're smaller still, but they do these daily and like quotes that they put out, and I
Okay.
love the positive vibes from that. So for like the last couple years before I even started content creating, they were somebody I was subscribed to and I followed and watched their content, and they heavily inspired me to say, hey, I'm not too old to just start, so like, let's do it, because they are a little older. So they just gave me a huge boost of inspiration, and I thought it was funny because then like months later, all of a sudden now me and them are friends, and I'm like, bro, you were like a role model to me, like wanting to start up content creating. So this is so wild that like you were a role model but friends with somebody I became friends with. that ended up being a subscriber to my channel and just watched my channel for my content, and then I inspired that person to start their own channel. It's like blew my mind.
So
Like,
like
wow, like
6 degrees of separation scenario, right? Where everyone just winds up knowing each other.
yeah, it was awesome. So I'm like, I love it, man. This community we have is such a good vibes. I mean, we could goof around and like say shit and whatever, and have a good time, but like it's just like it's always good energy, good vibes, and they're all
Yeah.
good people. So yeah.
What do you want to grow into? Like where do you see your end game as being? I mean, like I guess like where do you want to take your channel?
I mean, it'd be nice to eventually see that maybe I reach, a 500,000 subscribers one day or something, maybe 10 years from now. Like, I don't have any expectations of like how far it's going to go or whatnot. I kind of look at it this way, like it would literally be a dream come true if the amount that I actually made on the channel just paid for my internet bill. Like
Yeah.
anything beyond that is just a blessing. So like I want to put the work in and stuff, but I don't have expectations of anybody paying anything. Like I do have a memberships tab and stuff, but I even dropped it down to like 99 cents just to try to offer the option that the majority of people could afford it if they want to have
Yeah.
any type of extra stuff. But um just ideally though, it's like I want to see my channel grow um with obviously the content and the amount of content growing as well. But I really just genuinely want to always try to keep a really good vibes, good energy community in a place that people could feel like they can find solid content and a little bit of a mix of stuff, like with some editing, some raw stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah.
I learn, how to edit better and stuff, being that I'm still new to editing, that they just see it kind of grow with it, getting better and better and better. I also, anybody I come across that maybe is inspired to start content creating, like I want to try to increase that collaboration with my fellow content creators to not only boost the morale, but also, just bring to light. So between supporting my fellow content creators, new developers, like I just like to bring light to not only their channels and these new titles and just I feel like just doing the content I do just shares my passion with it. So
What what would you I should say who have you maybe grabbed inspiration from when building your channel? When you think about hey, 500,000 subs, it would be great. Enough to maybe pay my internet is great. But who would you say that you've watched and you see hey, listen, they've got 15,000 subs, and I love their work. I can do what they do. Who have you grabbed inspiration from over the years?
I mean, the top people for me when it comes to survival games and horror type games would have been like Cage 848, Farkit, the Outer Middle Show, and Game Edge and Glock 9. Like
Okay.
those would have been the huge ones that I watched. Like I'm talking, I watched them when they were like all like 20,000 subscribers. So now they're hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So it's like they've been a huge inspiration for me getting into like that type of genre and wanting to. I just always felt like, oh, I'm too old or it's too late. So then it was like people like my buddy M80, the one I told you that really pushed me with the inspiration. Like,
Yeah, I've seen him
I
on a
just,
lot of your videos. A
yeah,
lot of your
yeah,
videos I
yeah.
see him in.
So it's not even somebody being a large content creator that I feel like makes an impact on somebody else. I think that just anybody, big or small, just them doing something is going to make an impact and it could really, help somebody else. So like I said, it was his daily little inspirational quotes that he posted on his
Hmm.
little his post tab on his channel, and it's like I just would see him on my feed all the time and be like, man, I needed that today, and I'm like, I really like that. So then I just was like, man, if he does this, I wonder like what his content's like. So I check his content out, and I know, certain people may not be to everybody's liking, but for me, it was the push I needed because I was like, I think he's older. And I was like, honestly, let me reach out to him. And then I was like, just next thing you know, it's just doing content. I thought it was great. And I went ahead and reached out to him as I surpassed him, which was just so funny. It was like such a great feeling to
Yeah.
say, oh my gosh, this guy that kind of inspired me, I just boomed past him, but I want to involve him because he's such a great person. So I
Yeah.
just do collabs, and then it's kind of the same with all of us. Like we've all just the numbers don't matter. Like it's I mean, I get statistics and analytics, yeah, it does, but for me, passionately, no, it doesn't. I mean, I'm
Yeah, I agree
thankful
with you
for
there
it.
too, man. For me, I mean, the numbers don't matter. If I only ever have 1,600 subscribers, I mean, I'll be happy as long as the people viewing get value out of it. As long as I've treated the people that view my content with a degree of respect as well. I just want to have a good time and show people that games can be played how you want to play them.
Oh
I
yeah.
just want to have fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like this is how I look at it. I could have 100 subscribers, right? And those 100 basically do nothing. Don't like, don't comment, barely view, but they're just subscribers.
Hmm.
Um, Great and all. The number looks great. But if I had 10 that liked, commented, shared, viewed, watched everything that I had, those solid 10 would take me further than those 100 ever will. So my mindset's like to have, even though I might not have a lot, but just knowing that a huge portion of those subscribers do a lot to help with the channel and involve themselves. They enjoy the content, they comment, they like it. They watch the series dedicated, asking, hey, when are you doing the next one? I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, that just makes me feel amazing because it's like, you know, I put it there. Like I put it there for people to enjoy. So it's like
Yeah.
I didn't just enjoy it. Like I mean, I enjoyed everything I do, but it's like to know that somebody else gets enjoyment out of it, it blows my mind. But it's just phenomenal and amazing. So it's like I'll take those more dedicated people versus just the numbers. Like
Yeah.
it, I want every like if I ever hit, let's just say 100,000, I would love to know that a huge percentage of that are all there,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
numbers, So I hope to continue to bring more and more and keep interesting people, coming and providing stuff that people enjoy. So, I mean, as time goes on, like I said, with editing and just experience of doing it over and over and over again and stuff, I hope that it just gets better and better and people really see that and enjoy it.
What program do you edit with?
So I would suggest anybody that is starting content creating to maybe try out Clipchamp because it's free. That's what I started on originally. And I
Hmm.
still technically to this day do use it for some shorts and little things. Like if I have a simple edit. Also, sometimes I don't necessarily use it to edit with. I will actually just import my content and then export it because it reduces the file size. So when uploading to YouTube, it's a lot faster
Oh, okay,
because
interesting. Yeah.
it'll take like a video that might be 11 or 12 gigabytes, right? But then I put it in there and it comes out at like 5 or 6 gigs and it'll upload way quicker and it's the exact same quality, 1080p,
Yeah.
everything. So that's nice. So that's a great thing for that. But I recently got into DaVinci Resolve. So it is another free version that has about 80 to 90% of the functionality unlocked for you. So if
Hmm.
you actually buy it, then it's like you're only really unlocking about 10% more features.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just itself, though, that's phenomenal. You can split audio tracks if you use like OBS and you toggle the different tracks, you can split all that. I mean, there's so much to do with it. I mean, just unbelievable how great it is. I still new at it. learning it, but I've watched some videos. I also share some of that stuff on Discord, so it might help somebody else to see that video. And if they decide to use that software, they can, make use of it as well.
I love
So yeah,
DaVinci Resolve. I mean, and that's the one I personally use.
yeah, it's great.
There's a YouTube personality. His name is Casey Ferris. I don't know if you've seen
Okay.
any of his videos, but he has some of the easiest. He definitely approaches it in a very gentile way, you know. So
Okay. Okay.
so learning from him for me is really quite easy. I mean, I can kind of share his details after the interview here. I can kind of throw you the information if you haven't heard of him. But if you're looking for someone who does really good DaVinci Resolve breakdowns, content, I guess is kind of the easiest way of phrasing it. Just content for DaVinci Resolve. Casey Ferris is fantastic.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of them, but always happy to see some more stuff for sure, because anything helps. But the person that actually really got me into understanding how to use it was this Ben Claremont guy.
okay,
Um,
I'd love to
and
see his stuff too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I don't know exactly how much of it is, but he had really good beginner tutorials coming into this year
Uh
for
huh.
like learning in 12 minutes how to do all the basics, everything you would need from clipping to editing to audio to this, and like you could learn all of that in 12 minutes and basically know how to do a video in the next half hour. Like
Wow.
so super cool, super clear spoken. I love it when these guys that do the tutorials just the audio is just perfect. It's so good. So it's like I love it because it's a great way to learn.
Well,
But
and you
yeah,
know,
yeah, I
man, I
can
mean, to
share that
kind of
with you.
piggyback off what you said about that guy, I mean, a video for educating someone doesn't need to be 4 hours long. If you're able to capture it in 12 minutes, I mean, I've got things to do. You know, I think about myself and editing and doing shorts, and
Yep.
I mean, yourself. I mean, the time we've talked up to getting the interview going, you know, you say yourself, you know, hey, I'm always busy, I'm always doing something, and I think being able to engage with a content creator's content and get the value out of it that you need in a short amount of time. There's no price to be paid for the value of that. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
Um,
Definitely.
I don't have anything else for you though, man. But I want to get some words of wisdom from you before we kill the interview. You know, before we kind of go our different ways. You know, what's one message that you would want to tell your audience? You know, what's one thing if you could, you know, if your channel was coming to a close tomorrow and you just wanted to tell people one thing and get that message out, what would that be?
Well, I made a promise to my friend that I would say this. So you better not clip this out, but if you ain't first, you're last. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I had to say that. I hope people get the reference because it's a freaking classic. But
Yeah.
honestly, just I feel like if you have a passion or a goal or a dream, it's never too late to start. Um, you will at the end of like in the end of life, like you never want to look back thinking just I wish I would have or maybe if I did that. So it's like, you know what, just start it. I mean, don't sit here and think, hey, I'm creating content and I have 0 subscribers. Okay, because I'll tell you right now, like it might be like that for a while, but it just takes time. Like you
Yeah.
have to have patience. Just always try to deliver good energy, good vibes, and just be yourself. Don't be what somebody wants you to be. Be yourself. Just be you. Because here's the thing: there are billions of people in the world, and I'll tell you right now, there's hundreds of thousands of them just like you. So it just takes time for people to find that, to basically every content creator is a little niche, right? For basically another person. It's like, oh, that's, oh, that they totally, relate to me or I can totally, like there's always that, like there's different people in a crowd, right? So it's like everybody has their own little personality. So it's like that's kind of how you have to look at it is like, you're unique to your own self. So just be yourself, Just be you, have good energy, good vibes, do what you're passionate about, play what you enjoy to play, or do what you want to do. You know, even if it's not just content creating, just in general, just a goal, dream, development, create something, artist, whatever. And just know that you're the type of person you are will draw those kind of people that you want to come around. And if you get any of those negatives, just let it just go in one ear out the other. Like don't let it ruin your day, because in the end of it, it's like you're alive, you're breathing, you did what you wanted to do. I mean, shoot, kick your feet up and enjoy it.
I like it. I like it a lot, man, because it is a great creed to live by, and I couldn't agree with you more, man.
Thanks.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. NeLsInFiNiTy. I've got his details up on the screen again here for you. Please go check out his channel. Honestly, there's an energy and a perseverance in the way that he plays and what he brings to his channel that is absolutely spectacular. The team that he plays with, I personally connect with, because I too have a similar group of friends that I just absolutely connect with. And I think being able to feed off of that positivity, you know, maybe if you don't have it in your life, or maybe if you are just, you know, looking to find a good channel that has that air of positivity, I really get that from his channel. There's really not any negativity that I've seen in any of the videos I've watched so far. So check him out. Nels, thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to talk with me today, man.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's been fun.
Beautiful. Well, we'll let you go. Everybody, thank you again for joining. You have a good one. Nick out.